Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Hot Pole Podcast. I'm your host, Adam Steele, and joining me on very late notice is the wonderful Emily from Get Offset. Hi!
Hello. Thank you for having me.
Anytime. So just a quick thing for the viewers. Liam isn't here because at last minute he sent me a message saying he's burnt himself. So he's got loads of little, like hot oil burns up his arm, which is kind of nasty. He's okay. He's fine. It's not so bad. He's gone to hospital. They've dressed it. Apparently, it's going to be okay. But he needed to go to hospital just to get it looked at. It's not like major, but it's enough that he couldn't be on the podcast. So,
Right.
yes. Thanks, Emily, for stepping in. And because whenever I do this solo, I feel like a parrot talking in its cage. You know.
Yeah, I've done a couple of those like talking head videos, and it's one thing to do it, record it, go back, edit it, maybe put in some fun things here
Yeah.
and there. But just talking at a screen, sometimes it's a little weird. I've done
Yeah.
those too.
I mean, if I've got a specific thing to talk about, if I've got a soapbox to get on, then oh boy, I can go. But if it's something like the podcast where it's supposed to be kind of interactive, not so much.
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally.
Yes, coming up on the show today, we've got news from there's a new TRacks compressor. There's a new waterproof DPA microphone. PRS have brought back the Archon. Looks like Apple are bringing out the new M2 MacBook Air this year, maybe. Lewitt are finally shipping stuff, and there's always Behringer news. So, let's roll the intro and then dive right in. Hey everyone! Managed to press the wrong button because I'm stupid. But yes, hello everybody. Yeah, I was just saying to Emily, she can't hear the music as it rolls through the video, which is always a little weird. And we can hear each other, but you can't hear us. Ha ha. So before we dive into the news, how have you been? It's been a while.
I'm good. It's been a wild year. I don't remember last time I was on, but in the past like 6 months, my band was on NPR's All Songs Considered. I was in the Pedal movie.
Nice.
Our record got released. The vinyl came in. It's been a whirlwind. My YouTube channel hit 5,000 subscribers. It's been great. I have nothing to complain about in my life.
Fantastic. It's been a similar story here, although I've not been in the pedal movie. That's really cool.
Yeah,
But
that was unexpected.
did they just call you up like, can you be in? Or
Yeah, so when COVID hit, they had to cancel a bunch of interviews, and they were looking for just to flesh some things out. And they reached out to me because they knew I had a decent video set up. They'd worked with me before. Like I've been writing for Reverb.com for over a year at that
right.
point, even. So they were like, "Yeah, Emily's good at talking. Let's make Emily talk."
And so it happened. It's funny. I only joined Reverb this week because I just have been a little wary of selling things because I've had bad experiences with other retailers. But I thought, you know what, I'll just go for it, and it's been pretty good actually. Yeah.
Complain about the fees, but the last year I'd sold a Mr. Black Fwonk beta to somebody,
Hmm.
and he messaged me. He's like, "It doesn't work." I'm like, "Okay, well, can you help me by troubleshooting it? Like, can you send me a video of it not working?" And he's like, "It almost blew up my amp. I'm not gonna plug it back in." And we had this whole back and forth. He did not want to open it up. He's like, "There's something rattling around it." I'm like, "Well, that might just be the battery clip, because I'm pretty sure that pedal has a battery clip."
Hmm.
And he's like, "I'm not gonna open it up." I'm like, "Well, but the thing is, like, if you open it up and there's like a resistor or a transistor like bouncing around in there, then obviously something's broken."
Yeah.
But it was this whole thing. Eventually, he did send a video of himself playing it, and I could hear like this as he would play. I would hear this gentle kind of thump, thump, thump. I'm like, "Well, it's doing something." So I asked him like, "What's the output on your bass's pickups? Have you tried it with a different instrument? Is your volume turned up all the way?" He's like, "Of course my volume isn't turned up all the way on the bass." I'm like, how do you expect an envelope filter to work if you aren't going to turn up? Like, it needs more input than that, the pedal does.
Yeah.
So Reverb actually had my back. They covered the return fees, the postage, and they gave me a little bit of extra cash for my trebles.
That's not so bad,
So,
then. Yeah, that's all right.
no, I'm like, okay, they've got my business for life, because if that happened on like eBay, I'd have been screwed. The guy would have kept the
Yeah.
pedal and my money.
Yeah, that's my story. Is I used to sell a lot of stuff on eBay, and it just got to the point where I just couldn't justify putting in the effort, because the chance of things either being sent back or them trying to not send stuff back and get their money back anyway. So, oh
Yeah. I remember my husband selling a monitor on eBay for a very low price. And the guy who bought it, after he bought it, before he paid, he's like, well, now I have a bunch of questions now. Now you have to answer all these questions about this product. I'm like, man, you should have done that before you bought it.
yeah, it's like, no, I don't have to answer any of this. You bought this already.
No, you bought it as is. But ultimately, we were just so fed up with the guy, we canceled the order.
Yeah, that's just people, I guess. But yeah, I mean, yeah, since we last since I last saw you on the podcast, everything's changed for me too. I'm in a different house. So
Yeah, I was about to say your setup looks a little different.
very different. Instead of being cramped in a tiny little office, I've got space and I've got amps, like amps.
Plural.
Yeah, well, if I move the camera a little, there's supposed to be there's a 5150 and there's supposed to be a rev generator up there, but I took that to the studio. So,
Oh, nice.
yeah, I've got room and I can do this and it's great. And
Yeah.
So yeah, that's kind of the main things. I've moved house, but also things are just going crazy busy. Like today I just released this video for the Futurist pedal. The release date for that pedal was today, and I received the pedal 5 days ago. I think it was 6 days ago.
I did some beta testing for that thing. It's cool.
Yeah, so I just did the video.
Matthews Effects Futurist.
That's the one. So I just released the how-to video. So that's what I've done today. Is Matthews Effects wanted me to do the super nerdy, super long, this, that, the crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And part of the reason why I held off till filming it today is I've just got this. This is this is my new camera. And this is the Blackmagic 6K. It's crazy.
Nice.
It's absolutely wonderful. It's huge. And so I strapped a hard drive to the top of it, and oh my.
I was about to say, yeah.
Yeah, it's heavy. Oh, I can't hold it for too long. I need to get some of those big wooden handles you can get for it, just so I can lift it.
How heavy is it?
I don't know. It's
over 5 pounds, or
it's about that. It's not super heavy, but it's not your usual like handheld DSLR. It's got a lot of weight, and especially since I put this small rig thing on there, just so I can hold extra stuff. That's adding to the weight, and then this lens is quite heavy as well, and
heavy.
Gently put that, and it's being gentle with it as well is what takes the extra effort, because I can throw around a 5 pound sack and don't care, but when it's something
you don't want to do that with a camera,
right? Yeah, when you're being super careful, it's super slow. You're like, yeah. Marty says Adam can do a little victory dance whenever he sells a Celestian speaker on the Reverb on the new office, which I've actually, so I've already sold 2 speakers. Should you? Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Those speakers are from the ridiculous video that I put out recently, where I compared every Celestian speaker they make right now. It's a 6-hour-long video.
And what was the verdict?
People seem to like it. Some people don't understand why I didn't break it into a series, which is fine. But
Because you don't have to.
Well, the thing is, if I make it into a series, my experience with series is on YouTube is everybody watches part 1. 20% watch part 2, and nobody watches part 10.
Yeah, I was talking with somebody about that lately, and there are a couple where I've like had decent maintenance on the rest of the series. Like I did the Pod Go and I broke that video into several. And one of the later videos is the most popular.
Oh yeah, makes sense.
Some of them, yeah. The blooper I had okay. churn rates, I guess is kind of a good way to say that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just feel like series, it's not worth it. I'd rather just make a long video.
Yeah, well, that's exactly it. And I've got all the timestamps if somebody wants to go to that bit. Fine. And
Yeah.
so,
And
yeah,
YouTube does favor longer content.
that was
So
the
6 hours, I don't know.
yeah. There's diminishing returns, sure, but that was kind of the thing. Is like if you want to go to a section, click on the button for the section. And the other thing I figured is if someone wants to watch the video for a later bit, that counts as a view. So
Yeah.
all these views that would have been spread over like 10 videos, all combined into just like, vertical stack. So hopefully over time that'll get a lot of views. That'll put it higher up in the search rankings. Yada 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 yada.
Yes,
So,
exactly.
yes, Chris in chat asked if I'm rocking the Sennheisers again. Yes, I'm wearing my 650s because my VSX headphones, which I have, but these ones are broken. The headphone kind of metal clip up here snapped. Apparently, it's quite common on the first generation of them. Apparently, that's a thing. I've talked to the guys. It's like they are sending me a replacement, but they're waiting on the boat from China with the stuff. So as soon as that comes in, they'll give me a replacement. But for now, I'm going back to the old school.
Shipping's weird right now.
That's an understatement for sure. But yeah, like these are my Sennheisers. If I hold them up to the camera, you can see how rusty they are.
Are those? You're open back. Dang! Did you leave
These
them outside?
have been literally round the world with me. I've done mixing on like films and like location shoots halfway around the world where I'd throw these in my bag.
Can we see the foam again?
The foam? Oh no,
Like
that's
the inside.
Oh, the inside.
The inside. Because I got a question. Did that used to be black?
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's about 5-6 years of man sweat.
Like, was it always that color?
Nope.
I don't remember that. Was that a limited edition colorway?
It is now. That's relicking.
Oh yes, relicking done.
This is the Sennheiser Murphy Labs.
I just got some open backs. I got these AKGs.
Oh.
The K701s.
All right.
I love them.
Yeah, the thing, because I do a lot of mixing, I have to have something that's kind of boring and neutral and kind of flat, which is why I've got these. But I'd love to have headphones that sound nice. As it is, I have to have the ones that...
They're supposed to be really flat response. Yeah. I have the Ultimate Ears reference for mastered in right now, and those are a pretty flat response too.
Yeah. Nicola in chat says I should wash the pads. I have washed the pads. That's part of why there's no colour in them. I did actually buy a replacement set of pads that are in my bag right now, I think. So, yeah, I am due for a replacement. What I was going to do is, Sonar works, right? Yeah. So what they can do, if you want to be really fancy, is you can send them your headphones and they'll profile your exact pair. But what they suggest is if you've got if they're an older pair, put new ear cups on before you send them. So I was thinking, right, I'll do that. Great. So I got the ear cups. Then I started using those VSX headphones from Slate, which have been really good for mixing. So I just forgot about these. And then they broke. So, oops.
Yeah, it seems it happens.
Yeah, so, yeah, breaking stuff, which means that now I'm thinking, right, okay, well, maybe I should get these sent off, but now I'm thinking, if I get these sent off, what do I have spare that I can listen on? And I've got some, like, $20 piece of garbage headphones I could wear, but...
Maybe don't put your entire livelihood into... your faith of your livelihood into a pair of $20 microphones.
Right.
Headphones.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Microphones either, honestly.
Well, yeah, same kind of thing. Yeah. So, shall we talk about the news?
Let's talk about the news.
The news. All right, there we go. So, let's start with our what was going to be the headline topic. TRacks, which is from IK Multimedia, the Amplitude guys, have now modelled the Distressor, which is one of the famous compressors. It's kind of probably the most modern famous compressor there is, I guess.
Wow. wow.
Do you know Distressors at all?
No, I haven't used one.
Right, they're a rack unit, and
Yeah.
they're super fast, super aggressive, but you can also make them sound kind of soft and like tape, so they're really versatile. And
Nice.
oh, that's a point. Sorry, just to go back to the headphone thing, Marty in chat said the Austrian Audio headphones. I do have a pair of Austrian Audio Hi-X55s I could dig out. Yeah. They sound weird though. They're like the NS10s of headphones. They're super like barky in the mids. But if you've done something wrong, you know about it. You know about it fast. They're actually that's what they're really good for. Actually, is they're mixing. They're brutal headphones. They're absolutely brutal. If you do something wrong, you're like, no, turn it down. There's absolutely no complacency of it'll do, sounds fine. It's just it lets you know. So yeah, back to the news. Yes, the challenge has been on to try and emulate the Distressor because it's got a very upfront, very modern sound. A lot of like, it's a really good example. A lot of really in-your-face rap tracks, the vocal will use a Distressor because it makes it just.
Oh, okay.
The vocal is just right there. It's right in your face. It's like, you know the kind of sound I mean, rather than that kind of lush thing. It's like, whoa, here's that guy. Yes, usually a Distressor. There are other ways of doing it, but you're making it hard for yourself by doing it other ways. If you get a Distressor, it just kind of does it. And so, yeah, if TRacks are anywhere near close with this, then for $100, that's not the worst, I think.
Not bad.
Yeah. And the rest of the TRacks series, apparently they're currently selling for €25 each for the next 2 weeks. So if you want any of that stuff, yeah, go get it cheap. We do love a deal on this channel. So
I think the review there says it's a commendable effort.
Commendable
Pursuit. There it is. Convincing emulations. Nice. Okay.
Convincing emulations, yes. That's impressive. Yeah. So there you go. Right, so moving on, something that interested me for especially when theatres inevitably open back up again. I've always been a fan of DPA microphones, especially for live stuff. Their tiny little microphones sound much bigger than they actually are. It's kind of crazy. I used to use DPA microphones on acoustic guitars, and it just is the weirdest thing. It sounds like you're in the room with it. It's just so real. And so these new DPA microphones, apparently it's a new headset design, but with IP58 protection. So
that's the IPX, so sweat resistant.
Yeah, IP. So IP.
I think IP7 or 8 is technically water resistant, and I think IP3 and up is at least sweat resistant. So that's pretty impressive.
Yeah. So there's, I think, IP. The two numbers are dirt and water. Yeah, I think it's in that order. Which is why 38 is like waterproof, but a little bit dirt. 58 is more dirt, but yeah. 8, that's practically waterproof.
That is literally waterproof. You can submerge that, I think.
Yeah, which means that they'll be able to have these on people doing crazy shows, like, you know, when they've got those, rainfall on the stage, that kind of thing. You'd be able to use these. It obviously wouldn't have been this exact mic because this is brand new, but I know when they did the Les Miserables film, they used DPA mics for all the scenes where there was all the rain and all the stuff, and it sounded apparently just almost like a Neumann vocal mic, which is really impressive considering the size of this thing.
Size,
yeah. And that they weren't like here either, because doing a film like that, they put them on the top and then covered them with a piece of cloth that was the same type of cloth as the the shirt or skirt or whatever, so you didn't see it.
I feel like on stage they often have them coming down from the hairline.
Yeah, you have them in a few different places, I guess. My favourite when I helped out on theatre stuff was to have it on the cheekbone, because just having it a little higher up means that if you go and kind of go boom, 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 it's not on your cheek. It's not going to catch that. Whereas
Yeah.
if you have it down here, I mean, this doesn't seem so bad because this isn't taped to. That's what I would call the TED Talk.
This is very I was about to say it's very TED Talk.
Yeah.
It's very like that WeWork CEO and doing this and talking about how only your most engaged employees want to go into the office.
And another thing.
Oh wait.
But wait, there's
We
more.
added. Yes.
Mm.
Madness.
And these prices actually don't seem crazy, considering that these are resistant to dust ingress and highly resistant to water emissions. So €700. So we're looking at $700 plus sales tax. So a good analogy is that any price you see in euros is probably what you would pay in dollars if you add your tax on top of that.
Yeah, my 10% sales tax. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that seems not unreasonable, considering something that sounds as good like those Neumann vocal mics. Those are $2,500 to $3,000 for one of those.
Yeah. Still not community theater prices, but
No.
mid-level. Yeah.
Yeah, but community theatre, you just shout louder.
That's true. Nice small rooms.
That's how you end up with the
Just
singers
project.
going, "No!"
Yes, exactly.
You're shouting! No, I'm not!
I'm projecting.
Theatre!
Tried to do that in that direction. The theater. Yeah.
Yes. So, moving on from something loud to something probably more loud. I've wanted a PRS Archon amp for a long time, and apparently they are back because PRS stopped making them for a while.
Yeah.
And yeah, they sound heavy as a heavy thing, which is very much my thing. I mean, as you can probably see from some of the amps behind me, I like higher gain sounds, but my favourite amps are the ones that can do a really nice clean tone as well.
Totally.
Because, I mean, like, I've got this PV5150 back here. It's a great sound, but it does one sound. And if I want to take that out for a show, nah. It's metal or nothing.
Yeah.
Good
for your metal show, though.
Yeah. But even the metal bands usually have the atmospheric, moody, clean bits.
Yeah, they do. And think about Mark from Periphery.
Absolutely. So, yeah, Mark's, he's a PRS artist, funnily enough. The Holcomb, yes. The Holcomb is a PRS guy. And so is, I believe that Mark Tremonti, this isn't his signature amp, but I believe that he kind of had a word in the ear of the amp designer. Doug Sewell, his name is. So, because of course, like Mark Tremonti's been a PRS artist since about 1943. It certainly feels like it. But yeah,
War. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. Some say Mark Tremonti invented the thermionic valve.
The timing's right.
So yeah, that's out, and actually a really reasonable price.
Oh wow, that is like half of what I would have expected.
Me too. So yeah, I might start saving up. I might just save up all my speakers that I'm selling on Reverb money, and go and get me one of these. Because that's
What speaker would you pair? What speaker would you personally pair that with?
If it had to be one single speaker, it sounds cliche, but it'd be a Vintage 30 because they just kind of work. If I could use two and blend them, the other one would be the G12H Anniversary, which is it's quite a bitey kind of speaker, and it's not kind of got that shout that a Vintage 30's got. So you blend them together and you get a really nice kind of. You get enveloped by a field of beastie noise. It's one of the
immersion.
Yeah, absolutely. I always find that when I get the blend right between two speakers in a cabinet, you play it loud for a while, And instead of going, oh, that's loud, you just kind of play, and then someone talks to you afterwards, and you just like, what?
You're
What?
just shouting at them like, you gotta speak up.
Yeah.
Why are you whispering?
Why is everyone speaking quietly? I've been playing on the Archon again.
Oh, yeah, Adam's been on the Archon. You can always tell when he's been on the Archon. Very loud the rest of the day.
Yeah. Are the walls whistling? Can you hear it? Eee! No, that's just you.
Oh my gosh. What is that? Is that a siren? It can just feel like it's been going around the block for 2 hours.
It's a combination of a siren and bacon frying.
Oh man, now you got me hungry. No, I think my bacon's different than your bacon.
Oh, I love American bacon.
Yeah.
I also
Kind of
love
the
English
best.
bacon, but I just generally love bacon. So, yeah, hey,
Yeah.
whatever works. Oh, man.
Shaken bacon.
Oh, he's saying you're hungry. It's because of the time difference. It's weird. I'm hungry for another old fashioned.
Is it God? You love a drink that comes with a snack, right?
Yeah. Although I've
Do
had
they
two.
do you put cherries in yours? Your old
Yeah,
fashions?
there's a Morello cherry and a slice of orange in there, of course.
Snacks. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, drink food. I was
My
putting.
my grandfather, he used to feed my brother the cherries out of his cocktails that he would make. Because my brother would ask for the cherries, and Big Al would be like, "Oh, all right, Nolan, here you go." My grandfather sounded like Foghorn Leghorn.
Awesome. Oh man, no, my granddad's never sounded like that. That would have been awesome.
It was great. It was great.
Oh, really good quote in the chat from Poo Ninja. From Hendrix said, "Good sound doesn't hurt no matter how loud it is, but bad sound hurts no matter how quiet it is."
I like that.
That's deep. I like it. So let's go from a loud thing to something that's probably going to be a very quiet thing. There's been a leak, and the leak has not been fixed. Apparently, rainbow-coloured MacBook Airs are coming out later this year. This looks like a fairly legitimate picture. With the new
They missed the Easter bubble though, because that would have been like so Easter egg colored.
Yeah. Well, they'll probably make a new version next Easter, because that's Apple for you.
Yeah.
But yeah, apparently
Those are
there's...
beautiful.
It looks like these are going to be using the new M2 chips. Don't know if you've been following the whole new Mac M1 thing at all.
Oh, I have a Windows.
Yeah, me too. But I kind of follow tech because I'm a huge nerd. And
Yeah.
it looks like Apple are going to change the entire game and possibly render PCs obsolete in maybe 3 or 4 years. Maybe.
They've been trying to do that for 25 years. But okay.
Yeah, they've been failing, but here's the thing. They've completely thrown out the
close.
entire architecture and designed their own new chips, which are these M1 chips, so it's a whole new thing. And it's completely outstripping any comparative laptop at the moment, but using almost no power, which is kind of crazy. It's still in early days. It's still not quite there because all the what do you call them? All the software developers don't all support this yet. But
Yeah.
if they've got this new M2 processor, which comes in soon, then it looks like they're going to absolutely wipe the floor with everybody, and on a battery with 12-hour battery life.
12 hours. Whoa.
Yeah. Well, these things use so little power.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. That's all the chips in all the Macs for the past decade plus have all been Intel chips, same as PC chips. And you're trying to kind of get all this extra performance out of it, and you just end up draining the battery and making heat. So Apple have just gone, nope, and started again with what is essentially a glorified iPad design.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. Like, I've got an old iPad Pro, like the first iPad Pro, so it was really nice when it was new. It's still kind of nice now, actually, but it's a few years old. And I can do 4K video editing on that, as fast as I can on this monster of a computer that I use. It's terrifying.
That's amazing. Because man, that's why I had to get like this behemoth gaming PC was for my
Right?
video editing
Mm.
because I've been working on something that was like kind of worked. But when I would go to render a video, I would have to be like, okay, 20-minute video, going to render it and go to bed. Upload it in 5 minutes, but the rendering took forever.
Yeah, I've been uphill struggling against that. But I mean, yeah, I mean, there were limitations to that. There were certain kinds of footage that this thing didn't like, and some of the kind of editing, trying to use a touch screen for video editing, not that precise. And
No, it's really a pain in the ass.
exactly. But if you wanted to do it, here's the really scary thing. There's a program called Luma Fusion. I have the same program on my phone, and my phone is an iPhone 10. And that can export 4K edit video in real time and edit in real time, and it's terrifying. But what I started
terrifying?
good terrifying, yeah. What I started doing for a little while is I was filming vlogs. I had a GoPro and I had my phone, and I would film between them, transfer the footage from my GoPro over to my phone, and then whenever I had 5 minutes downtime, I'd just throw a little bit more on the edit on the vlog. And then I stopped doing it because I got to the point where I would finish the edit in bed, and I'd look at the clock and it'd be 2 a.m, and then I'd just be, So I kind of stopped doing that. I'll probably still do a vlog every now and again, but yeah, it was getting a little dangerous.
Yeah, yep, I know how that is. Another reason it's good to have a cat. My cat likes to bother me when I've been working too long. Good reminder to take breaks and check the time.
Yeah. So yeah, this is good news for all the Mac people out there who want to spend lots of money on Macs. I mean, if these...
how much do we think this is going to cost? Like, because MacBooks are expensive as hell.
Yeah, probably looking at $1,200 to $1,400 for one of these.
That's it?
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
are you talking about? Are you talking euros or are you talking
dollars?
Pounds?
I mean, because of the exchange rates now, if I say pounds, euros, and dollars, they're not that far off from each other because Americans assume that when you say dollars, you include your sales tax. British people, we always assume that all the tax is included in the price. So it's funny when I say the prices, they kind of work out.
I guess I just had no idea that MacBook Air was that affordable.
Well, the Air is kind of the entry level one. That's it.
Oh, wow.
I mean,
this might be a PC killer then.
Yeah. Well, the funny thing at the moment with there's a MacBook Air, a MacBook Pro, and there's a Mac Mini, and I think there's a new iMac, and they all use the same processor chip. That's the terrifying thing about how good this new chip is. They've just put it in everything and just gone, whatever. And the only limit then is like how fast you can get rid of the heat or how much power you can pump to it, which is why the desktop versions are always a little faster, because you're never relying on battery for that. But oh boy, yeah, they're coming to get us.
Color would you get?
I'd probably just go for the silver because I'm boring like that.
A blue.
It is slightly blue, yeah.
Blue, silver's right below that. Then I think it's a purple, a pink, an orange, a yellow, and a green.
There's a space grey one in there, but there's also a purple. I might go for purple, actually.
I would do purple, but that green is really nice. I got the iPhone 10 in the forest green color, and I'm like, oh, it's nice. It's just a little bit different.
Obviously, I can't remember if mine was gold or rose gold. I think it's normal gold.
That looks normal gold to me.
That could be the camera with the white balance. No, that's rose gold. I didn't get rose gold because I wanted rose gold. I got that because it was the one they had.
Yeah.
And
that used to be so much more the case. Like, okay, well, I came all the way down the store. If you only have this one color, I guess that's the color I get. But now, I don't know if they have this in the UK. I can, or where you are, I can just put it in an online order. The person will actually come to my house and set it up with me, and then they leave. I don't have to leave my house anymore to get a new iPhone. It's the best.
That's cool, but I don't think anyone maybe someone can come round and set things up for you, but I'm very techie. I'd just be like, give me the box, turn around, go away.
It was really cool the first time I did it, especially. I was like, oh, because you could just hold. That was also the first time you could just hold one phone next to the other, and it would transfer the data.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
it's
that
like
was really cool.
it's magic. I mean, I grew up with technology. I was 17 or 18 when the first iPhone came out, so it's like it's been with me my whole adult life. And now, but they're still doing things that make me go, holy crap! Like, how is this possible?
Oh, it's clever. I mean, it's. I can't remember what book it's from, but there's always the quote that resonates with me is that any technology sufficiently advanced that's beyond our understanding will always come across as witchcraft.
And yeah, it's all there, man.
Yeah.
You see it a lot. It's unfortunate how often you see it.
Yeah. So I being a resident nerd, I suppose I'm like kind of a wizard, which makes me smile a lot.
Wizard, warlock.
Yes. So, for the Mac guys, there's now an iLok for little USB-C connectors, which means you don't have to carry one of those stupid adapters around anymore. So, do you use iLoks?
Nope.
As a mixing engineer, I can't get through a day without my iLok. This is the licensing dongle that keeps all my software licenses on it.
Nice. That's smart. Yeah. I bounce between two computers and I have enough seats on the softwares that I use to be fine.
Right. Yeah, a lot of audio software is you put your licenses on an iLok, which means that I can grab the thing out of my computer and take it to my laptop, and yeah, it just kind of works, which is great. Except for when you forget it. Like I was in the studio and I forgot mine today, but luckily I wasn't doing a thing where I needed it. Whereas most of the time, yeah, it can get difficult if you don't have it. But yeah, up until now they've all been regular USB, which is fine, except that a lot of guys with Macs get really annoyed about that. And so now USB-C, the tiny little connector, you can have one of these hanging off your new little MacBook Air in purple, and you'll be able to mix on the train.
Your MacBook Air purple,
yeah. I think I'd actually be quite happy with them.
What WTF is rendering? Pooh Ninja wanted to know, I guess.
Well, and then he said it's something about boiling a horse. Rendering it into glue.
Yes, that is exactly what rendering is, yeah.
Ew.
Oh my gosh. Of course, America has horse controversy right now.
Yeah?
Horse controversy. Yeah, the horse that won the Kentucky Derby, which is like the most famous horse race in the United States.
Yeah.
I guess failed its after race drug test.
Oh dear.
And now the owner of that horse is blaming cancel culture for his horse failing a drug test.
How can you blame cancel culture for your horse taking horse steroids?
They found a way. Not convincingly is the answer to your question.
Oh yeah. Blame something.
Your snare sounds terrible in this, Adam.
That's Scott. Hi, Scott.
Did you see that new Ranger FX pedal today? It's the snare thing.
No.
Ooh.
Do you put liquids into it? Because that's
that was not safe for life. That pedal.
Oh no. That was.
Let's see. Oh gosh, it's making me.
Dark times. Ranger FX new pedal.
It is the Snare Trap Beatbox. Ansel Lukowski, I think, did a demo.
That's our new news article then.
Oh, there it is. There it is. Yeah, that thing is really cool.
Ah, that's really weird. I like it. Yes. So is it like envelope trigger type thing as well as the big pad that you can hit? Yeah, it can be externally triggered, right?
Yeah. Yes. Self-correcting tap tempo. something like
Ah,
that.
so it's like, no, you suck. This is what you actually meant.
Yes, yes. Yeah, Ian's demo is really cool. I think he put it through the Red Panda tensor for some glitchy sounds.
Ooh,
Yes, I am stoked on this, and I've already begged for one.
right.
Let me play this.
And it's got separate trigger inputs. That's nice.
Hmm.
Yeah. I mean, this isn't. You wouldn't make the kind of music I usually make with this, but that'd be cool to have around.
It would be cool, yeah. I think I could have some serious fun with this. One of the pedals that I use the most in recording is the Ranger FX Reverb X
Hmm.
Shoegaze box. Yeah.
So
I love it.
that's a wedge shape as well. That's really cool.
Yeah.
Huh. So is that just like really long immersive reverb type?
Yeah, it has it's like an immersive-ish reverb with some fuzz you can blend into the trails. Like a
Oh.
very shoegazy kind of sound. You can have there's this little external pad that it's like an expression pad to swell it up. There's also a little gate
Mm.
control to tone voicings, dark and standard. But yeah, I use that thing all the time. It's
Mm.
very secret sauce. Very secret sauce pedal for me.
Nice.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm already getting ideas about like using the gate, having the gate really high up, and then just kind of smack to big
Yeah.
explosive. Ooh,
Having a
yeah.
gate on a reverb pedal is underutilized. I think it's pretty neat.
Mm. Yeah, that's a good idea. I've just
Oh,
ordered.
Noah says add this to my electric cello board for my whole one-man band thing. Exactly,
Awesome.
Noah. That's how I would probably use this, would be for my solo stuff.
Mm. Yeah, I've just ordered a pedal from Saturn Works, if you know those guys.
Yes,
Um,
yes, I have their reamp box.
yeah, so what I've ordered from them is a 1-to-4 splitter, so it sends my bass or guitar signal out to four simultaneous outputs. So
Nice.
that's the kind of thing where I'm thinking, because my idea of good bass tone is usually like super clean, fat, driven, and fuzzy all combined.
Yes.
Because then
Keep
I
that
can,
clarity.
yeah, exactly, and then I can play it in ways that bring out different things. But then if I don't need 4 outputs, I can use 2 or 3, and then have a crazy. And everybody loves a crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. That reminds me of the split meld box I just got from Old Blood Noise Endeavors.
Ooh,
Yeah.
I looked at
Basically
those.
TRS in, 2 out, or 2 in and TRS out.
Yeah, I almost got one of those. We covered that on the channel when they were first announced, but
Oh
it
yeah.
just didn't quite make sense for what I was doing, whereas the one from Saturn Works was more exactly what I had in mind. But yeah,
Very fair.
that looks like it'll open up a lot of possibilities. Very cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I was talking to Emily Hopkins. She does those harp demos with pedals. I don't know if you're familiar, but she told me that she
No.
used it with a polydigit.
Right.
To that pedal's stereo outs are TRS. So
Yeah.
she's like, split meld was the same price as a splitter cable. She's like, all right, I guess I'll just get the thing that I'll probably use a lot more.
Makes sense, absolutely. Yeah, more tools in the toolbox.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So let's move on from pedals to actually no. Let's talk about another pedal. Because this is Old Blood Noise Endeavors as well. This is a new one from them that's just been announced. The Expression Ramper. Which yeah
Really easy to use too.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I suppose yeah. It's got A or B, rate and go. Makes sense.
Yes.
But
And then it also you can also control the shape, so it can be like a square, very abrupt, or a sine wave.
oh hello, that's the thing in your hand right now. Sorry, I almost missed that. Ah, I mean that's in. You have the news in your hands. That's
I have
incredible.
the news. Yeah, I just got it in yesterday. So
Wow,
uh,
then that's amazing.
it's pretty cool. No, I like working with them, and I think they like working with me, and I hope they continue to like working with me.
Good stuff.
I like them so much.
Have you had time to play with that yet?
No, but I read the manual, and it's just it looks so easy. And shoot, be able to turn any of your pedals into a Chase Bliss pedal? Hell yeah.
Yeah. So, well,
Yeah.
actually, we were talking before the stream, I think, and just as we went on about the new video that I did for the Futurist from Matthews Effects. This sounds like something you could pair together to make some very clever stuff.
Oh, I bet you could.
Because there's
I really bet you could.
there's an expression input on the Futurist that turns it into MIDI.
Yes,
So
that's right.
Yeah, so you could ramp the expression into any MIDI device. Blah. The possibilities. My brain.
Just like, just like that. What's that meme where that woman has all the math things behind her?
Oh, yeah. The thinking meme.
It's one of those thinking memes. Yes.
Yeah, that's amazing. So yeah, it looks like you can reverse the polarity, which so you can flip it to up and down. There's different methods are all supported. It's got triangle, square, and one-shot accessed by a toggle switch. Very nice and affordable at $59. We love
Really
a fundable. That's what we do on this channel. Yes, it's affordable and fun.
all of their like utility pedals are so reasonably priced. They're very affordable.
Yeah, and sorry that's going to be that's something that I accidentally said once on the channel and has become a thing.
You have a shirt that says affordable.
I think I'll have a coffee mug that says affordable coming out soon. So I'll send you one.
To do. Thank you. And a fun board. Nah, that doesn't work. His affordable stuff.
Oh yeah.
Fundaboard.
Well, that could be a thing. I'll talk to Ryan because then a Fundaboard is like, well, it's almost affordable, but it's so much more fun that it makes up for being not so affordable.
Yes.
Ooh, pushing the limits of what do you call affordable, and then you get onto the graph of affordable and fun, and kind of where's the cutoff point of like this is really fun but nowhere near affordable, and kind of this is really affordable but doesn't do much, so it's no fun. Yes.
It's both.
Yes. So let's move on before we're here forever. So the Lewitt 140 Air stereo pair. These are really cool mics. I've been asking Lewitt for a pair of these for a while, and they've just not had them in stock. They've just not had them in stock for so long that the fact that they're in stock is a news article.
That's amazing.
Yeah, but these things sound so much more expensive than they actually are. They're for use in applications like acoustic guitar or drum overheads, and they've got an air mode, which I've heard, and it sounds incredible because it just gives things a really nice shiny top end, but without any of the frequencies that make you go, oh god, turn it off, oh no. And that's at €279, or what, $279 for a pair.
Dang, how?
They're magicians at Lewitt. They do some very, very nice stuff. I don't know if you've been watching Andy Ferris's videos recently, but when he does any singing, he's got one of the Lewitt microphones, and it just sounds so good.
Nice. That's cool.
I asked him what he does to it, and he said, like, I don't do anything. That's just the sound. And that was when I went, oh, okay. Because like, I'm a studio nerd. I chase the sound. Like, that's what I do. I chase the sound. And I've spent far too much time and effort and money trying to find the sound. And then Andy does this thing where I'm like, that sounds great. What do you do? And he's like, I don't know. I just nothing.
He might be yanking your chain. He might just not be telling you his secrets.
Maybe. I mean, I'll have to get him drunk again and get him to reveal his secrets.
Secret that is actually a much nicer microphone. No, that's not the secret. That'd be dishonest, and I wouldn't expect dishonesty from Andy.
No, I did have the same microphone that he had, to be fair, after I heard him with it, and it did sound really good.
Nice.
Hello, Warren in chat. Hello. Good to see you. Oh, Warren, if you're watching, I did see your call earlier. Sorry, I was mad busy. Like I said at the top of the stream, Liam's not here today because he got his arm burned. So I've been rushing to do everything to make sure that we could make the podcast happen. So, yes, that it's been a day. Yes. But yes, these are really, really affordable, and you can actually get them now. So, yes, there we go. And it's time for and finally, it's Behringer Corner. Every week we seem to have more news from Behringer out to rip off everybody, and this week is no different. So, this is the Studio M passive monitor controller, which is it's a Mackie big knob passive. Let's be honest, it's a straight rip off. And yeah,
I would expect it to be.
Yeah, and it's going to sound entirely average, and it's a passive monitor mixer. There's no fun there. This isn't a fundable. It's just cheap.
Yeah.
Although it does have mono buttons and dim buttons. If that's entirely passive, it must just be resistor and capacitors, which can't be that good. I mean, what's the price? €65 for this. Oh no.
Oh, I mean,
Sorry, that's the Mackie one.
36.
The Behringer one's 36. Oh, good God.
Oh, then I'll just get the Mackie one.
Yeah, exactly. At that price, I mean, actually, I would say don't get either and save up and buy an active monitor controller, because then you've got less chance of your signal being screwed.
Yeah.
I've just gone back.
They just put out these products. They don't promote them really. They put out a press release and someone's going to write about them.
We talk about them on Behringer Corner every week.
Exactly. But yeah, I mean, there's a point where it's like, well, the thing you're making cheaper is already really inexpensive.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know why you wouldn't. Listen, I'm in Seattle and so is Mackie, so.
It seems to be the Behringer way, though. It's a race to the bottom. That if they can make something cheaper, then a large percentage of people will just go with the cheap option.
Yeah.
And who's going to be there to catch these people and sweep them away? Mr. Behringer. Or is it? I believe it's Dr. Behringer.
I think that's and you start with these cheaper products, but it's not like Behringer, unlike Squire and Fender, doesn't have that like next step up really in their toolkit. So it's like, what do people do when they're ready to graduate to the next product? Are they going to get a different Behringer product?
Probably not. I suppose the cold hard fact is they don't care, because it's a numbers game. Let's say that 100 people buy one of these. How many of those 100 people are actually going to hear that they need something better and then buy something better? I mean, a rough guess out of 100 people, it's probably about 3.
I was about to say, yeah.
So they lose 3 customers out of 97. They still win.
Yeah, that's true.
It's all a numbers game, I guess. I mean, the other thing that it's
obviously working out for them to release, their 600 products a year or whatever.
Oh, yeah, they're multi-trillionaires at this point. It's scary. And there's something I've come to realize is the super high-end products don't have that bigger margin anyway. Because
that's true.
How do you position yourself at that like height of like boutique niche stuff? You've got to have like made in USA or made in the UK or made in an expensive country. You've got to use the finest components. All this kind of stuff adds up on cost. If you don't care, if you don't care about any of that, then your margins are actually pretty good.
And that's every product. Like you go to a restaurant, the cheapest bottle of wine is the one that's marked up the most.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, the real thing with Behringer that I've come to realize over the last few years is that now they own all of their own manufacturing plants. They make their own capacitors and resistors and components. That's how they make them so cheap.
complete vertical integration.
Yeah. Which means that they're not buying them from somebody else at a 30% markup.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah.
Some countries break up monopolies like that.
And then there's China.
Yes. And then there's China.
Yeah. I mean, I can only speculate that they may, have some sort of friendliness with the Chinese way of life. I couldn't possibly insinuate anything darker than that for fear of reprisals. But how does a multi-billion-dollar company stay working in a communist state? There you go.
Yeah, that's not something I have any interest of diving into.
Yeah, it's not a question I can answer without a
repercussions.
several-hour soapbox, which would alienate a lot of people. But the question is there for all to see, of course.
Yeah,
But-
it's definitely something. There's a lot of information out about how that company operates. It's pretty astounding. Like, even no shade, like, to accomplish that is astounding.
I mean, they're the big ones doing this in our industry, but they're not the only ones, because we're not the only industry. If you just track out a little bit and look at other industries, there are companies doing this in every corner of the world, in everything. But
True.
we end up making a joke of it, and it becomes our news article of Behringer Corner.
Behringer Corner.
And that was the news. Ta-da! So, now's probably a good time for me to say in chat, have we got any questions for Emily while she's here? Because we've talked about Behringer Corner, and we've talked about my new camera that nearly ripped my arm off.
It's heavy.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's funny, I've got two nice cameras now, which is, this beast, which makes me very happy. But Liam, my co-host, has to film a thing tomorrow, which actually, from what's happened, I might end up filming that. But he was like, can I use one of the cameras? Sure. There you go. And a tripod. Okay. And all the lenses, right?
Yeah.
But fair's fair, because the origin story of my channel is that the media company that we all worked at, most of the equipment that I was using back in the day was all their equipment. So now as my channel's grown and I've bought new equipment, whenever Liam needs to borrow my gear, it's just like, yeah, there you go.
That's kind of like me borrowing my husband's stuff, to be honest. But thankfully, he's not in the videography game anymore, because I've just stolen his DSLMs.
Right. What are you running?
Now, sorry. Just this Canon. I'll show you. Oh, where is it? There it is.
Oh.
That's my setup.
Ah, yes, of course. Nice. Yeah, because you've got to have the downward thing. I keep...
a long time to really be like, because for a while I was setting them upright and being really careful. I'm like, this is too much work. Too much work. Yeah.
Oh, looks like we've had a few questions in now. Barn Owl says, talk about your tuner tone.
My tuna tone. This.
Actually, one of the other guys was saying, what are the guitars behind you? So this works out nicely.
My tuna tone. This is made by Layla City up in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. She's a friend. This is the sixth one ever made.
Ooh.
But it has really cool brass saddle bridge, compensated a lot like an acoustic guitar. Perfectly intonated. Single coil pickup by Roadhouse. I don't have the knobs on it right now because I was updating the electronics. But yeah, just completely handcrafted.
Nice. It's good to know that something cool comes out of Alberta. I have friends from Alberta.
Like the rodeo.
I have friends from Alberta. They say the same thing. Actually, the guys I know all moved out to Vancouver because Alberta had nothing. So
it's the Texas of Canada.
Yeah. I don't know if that's a compliment or an insult.
In the eye of the beholder.
Yes.
Eye of the beholder.
Fair enough.
And then I have my disappointing. My Her Signature Stratocaster
Ooh.
with a normal whammy bar.
It's perfectly normal whammy bar.
Perfectly normal. This is the Yvette Young Signature YY10 from Ibanez I need to send back.
Ah.
Yeah, so those are the ones that are on the wall behind me.
I was wondering, the Yvette Young, is it like a smaller body shape? Is it... Because she's...
It's just a towel.
All right, okay, because Yvette Young, she's not exactly a... She's a tiny person, let's put it that way.
I mean, it's smaller than a Jazzmaster, it's smaller than a Strat, but I wouldn't call it over... The Tuna Tone is tiny.
Right.
I'm 5'7", not underweight, kind of a normal to heavier woman. And the Tuna Tone is quite small on me, but it weighs like 5 pounds tops.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's good for if you got...
It's heavy when it's in your breath.
Yeah, it's good. It's good to have guitars that you can, if you're feeling it in your back, you can just be like, nope, that one, I'll have that.
Yeah, exactly.
That
was my idea.
I played a show once. I played a wedding, which was like a 3-hour set where I'd only taken one bass, and it was like a 10.5 pound bass. And it was a 7-string bass. I was just like, I'll take this out for the night. It'll be fun.
What did you do to yourself, my dude?
It was a one-off. I thought, you know what? It'll be fun. And then 40 minutes in, I started to get a sore back. And after 3 hours, I wanted to die. And
was it fun? No.
It was fun, but I'm never doing it again.
I played some of those 3-hour gigs, like 2 sets for a cover night. And yeah, even like an 8-pound guitar, you're like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Like because like we would show up for rehearsals at noon, and then we would rehearse because we would only have that one day to rehearse. So we'd rehearse just us. Then we'd bring the singers in. We'd rehearse with the singers. First show at 5:30, second show at 7:30, or whatever it ended up being. And by then you're like, you've had this guitar on for a total of like 10 hours. It's tiring.
Yeah.
It hurts.
Only a couple of years ago, I was the singer and bass player in a wedding band. So I would drive anywhere around the country, might be a 4 or 5 hour drive, do a 3-hour show with like an 8 and 9 pound bass on, then drive back and do that 3 days on the bounce every week. And oh my God, I mean, by the end of it, I was really kind of in good shape, but oh man. And it's funny that I get so full of adrenaline when I'm playing that usually I don't notice stuff like that. And then I get to the end, and it very quickly got to the point where I had to take 3 towels with me to every show because I would sweat so much. Didn't realize it was just because I was putting so much energy into this thing. But
maybe see your dermatologist about some dry sol.
Oh no! It only happened when I was doing 3-hour shows under the lights. So I can very clearly kind of pinpoint the cause of the thing. Yeah, I think the doctor would say, "Well, just stop doing that then," and I did. But yeah, but the doctor would be less impressed that since I stopped doing that, I've put on about 30 pounds. So, yeah, what can you do? Although, actually, in fairness, most of that was from the last year where I've been sat on my ass and had nowhere to go.
Yeah. I'm just happy I've mostly maintained. I have not gained the COVID-19.
That's impressive in itself, because I really have kind of, it's crept up on me is the thing that I look down now and I'm like, oh, hello gut. I maybe it's because I stopped doing the touring thing as well, because that really kept me in shape. I stopped doing that, and around that time I was also managing a bar on the other days and running the YouTube channel. So
stuff, man.
Yeah, yeah, it was burning me out, but I was in good shape. So, swings and roundabouts. Marty
says, it's easy
says,
to not gain weight when you don't have time to eat, and when you're touring and you just have like a stomach bug for 3 weeks straight.
Yeah.
Take the pounds off. Easiest diet ever.
Yeah. Oh, good question from Marty. Pedal movie. How? Why will there be a sequel?
What?
I think it's a 3-part question. Pedal movie how? I think that's... We already talked about how you got involved, that you've done writing for Reverb.
Yeah.
Why? I mean, why a pedal movie? Why not? It's
Because
time.
enough people watched it for it to be the #1 documentary on iTunes for like 2 weeks.
I mean, I was joking last week on the podcast that I'm too cheap, so I wouldn't pay, but that's just me being a cheap ass. I'll probably watch it at some point.
Ooh. And will there be a sequel? Probably not. There might be another something that Dan and Michael will work on, but I don't think it'll be another pedal movie. But I do have to rap.
Ah, yes, you do. So, yeah, thank you very much, Emily. It's been a pleasure, and thanks for swooping in and rescuing me at the last minute. Thanks, everybody, for watching, and hope to see you all again next week, 8 p.m, for episode 100 of the Hot Pole Podcast. So, yeah, thank you. So, yeah, thanks, everybody, for watching. Thank you, Emily, for stepping in, and we'll see you all next week. Goodbye! Hey everyone, that might be the end of the video, but if you fancy carrying on this conversation, we have a Discord server, link is in the description. We're also on Patreon, which is something you can really help us with. We also are on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter at Hot Pole Studio.